first tutorial video on showing how to paint with tilt brush. And we're going to make a nice little scene, something very basic for you to start out with. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to use your tool hand. I'm going to select different environments. So I'm just going to point at the environments. And I'm going to go for, let's go for blue, something blue. Or should I go for night sky? Also make a night sky. I think that will be fine as well. Or we can, well, it's up to you really. I think I'm gonna go for blue for my painting, but if you want to try night sky, then that's also fine. Or maybe even a different, maybe you want to create something in complete darkness, or with a snowman. It doesn't really matter, you can choose whatever you want. So, I've got my blue environment, and we are going to draw a small little landscape with a few trees and forest and maybe a little mountain path. Nothing fancy. So, first thing we're gonna do, one thing that I found really helpful is that I'm gonna paint the brushes that I'm gonna use in the color that I want to use them, and so I can easily grab them again with the brush selector. It makes it more consistent, and it's like a way of predetermining which colors you're gonna use. So yeah, for this painting, we're gonna use 3 brushes. I think we're gonna use ink, and we're gonna choose a nice little brown for the ink, like so. So we can create some branches for trees. Another thing I'm gonna use is thick paint. I'm gonna make it greenish, something like this, I suppose. Should be fine. You don't have to look at the size, you can just choose whatever you want. If you want yellow trees, then it also works. If you want red ones, nobody's stopping you. So yeah, that's a nice little color. So we've got the trees all ready to go, but we do need something else. So let's go with oil paint, and we're going to use oil paint as our our foundation, really. So yeah, let's just create a nice little landscape, and maybe I'm going to use this one as well. Should be fine. Just check on this side. Oh, it looks fine as well. So yeah, I've got my 3 brushes. It's really simple. Maybe I should make it like very dark. That's fine, really. So first thing I'm gonna do. So I'm in the center of my room, and I'm just gonna draw a quick little painting, and or you can just follow along if you want, or watch it and then learn something from it and apply it on your own time, really. So first things first, since we're going to draw a little forest, we need a foundation. So I'm thinking maybe a small little grassy patch somewhere in the middle of nowhere. So I'm gonna change the size. That's not too large. This is as large as you can go, but not too small, since I'm lazy. So like this size, and then just create something on the floor. Look at that. Or not on the floor, but whatever's comfortable for you. So, another layer like this, just on top of that. And you'll notice that these brushes, they overlap each other. But that's fine. We're gonna keep it basic right now. And we're gonna start out with this and some trees on top of it. So right now we've got our grassy little area that we can work with. And if you look closely, then you can see that there's really a lot of depth to it, and that's fine. So, yeah, if you want, you can make it more thick, cover up some parts that are visible. You can maybe even create a little hill if you want. So yeah, and don't be afraid to use the undo button, but also don't be afraid to just let it go. Because yeah, it might not look perfect right now, but later on it might look a lot better. So yeah, just have a little bit of fun. And just painting this on top of each other, and eventually you get something that sort of resembles a hill. Right, so look at our little hill. Isn't that nice? Right, so we can use the brush select to select our ink, and from that we're going to make some trees. So I'm thinking we can draw some little trees over here on this patch, but over here we should create a really large tree. So let's start with the small trees first, because that's easy. So what you just want to do is, since we're going to create a forest, you're just going to select a smallish brush. Don't create something large, but just small. And then just put it right underneath your grass. Hold the trigger, pull up, and release. Just like that. And then just repeat that. It doesn't matter how tall they are. You can also make them really tiny if you want. Like that. Or you can make them a bit larger. Doesn't really matter. You can make them organized. You can just toss them about. You can create a little patch over here if you want to leave empty, with a small tree over here maybe, or two of them because we don't want it to be lonely. And maybe you want some trees over here. You can just go wherever you want with it. And since we're painting in 3D, it's good to mention that, well, if you want your painting to only be viewed from one angle, then this is enough for your tree trunks. But if you want to view it from a different angle, then you will notice that these are very flat. They're just little sticks, flat sticks. So one thing you can do to add more depth to them is to go over to them again, do it again, but then at a 90 degrees angle, somewhere in the middle, and just pulling up. It doesn't have to be perfect, it doesn't have to always be exactly in the middle. Yeah, when you do that, you've instantly added some depth to the trees, and just make them about just as tall. It doesn't matter if you make it crooked. This is just a very simple way of adding depth to the trees. And you will see here, it doesn't really match, but that's okay. And this one is really off. That's fine. It's alright. So, and if you're really unsatisfied, you can always undo and then do it again. But it doesn't have to be perfect. And some of the tall ones over here. There. I think that's it. Oh, those two here. Alright. Now, so now we've got our tree trunks, and you can really do a lot more with it as well if you want. So let's say I just want to add some branches to this one, that's also fine. But again, keep in mind that you're painting in 3D, so right now they're just like that. But if I view it from this angle, then I don't see any. So maybe you want some like that as well. Or you can just keep them like this. So here we're going to have a group of slightly different trees with yeah, some different kind of branches. And just like with the trunks, you can also choose to give these more depth by also painting them at a 90-degree angle on top of the existing line. Something like that. It's up to you, really. So yeah, here we've got a few trees that do have branches. And over here we've got trees that are just straight up, like that. Alright. There. So, let's go to our thick paint with the green. So we can use that to draw some leaves. So let's start with one of these in front. So let's say we want to create a small little bush, then well, you select a proper size. You don't want it to be too large because this is way larger than the trunk. So select something smaller and then just again create some depth to it. Or if you don't like it vertically, you can also do it horizontally. And just waggle it around and add some depth here. Maybe even go like this, just wobbling around. And if you don't like it, you can undo it and do it a bit more subtle. That's alright. So, let's say with these ones over here, we just want some very subtle branches and just draw lines over the existing branches. There. You can also add some depth to them if you want. Cool. You don't even have to paint them over existing branches, you can also create some new ones if you want. That's fine, really. Over here we can do the same. But this tree seems to be way too large to not have any more branches, so we're just gonna grab a little bit larger brush and then just create a nice little rotational yeah, tree. And let's do it over here as well, just rotate around. Over here, rotate around. Over here, rotate around. Over here, rotate around. Maybe some more at the edges. It doesn't really matter. Just go wild. And now we've got, yeah, some nice volume to these trees. Maybe give this branch also some more. Right, so we've got a few more trees over here. Let's go with something slightly larger then, and instead of rotating, we're just gonna go up and down. And sideways a little. Rotate in the middle. There. So, if you look at it from this side, then oh yeah, we've got some nice little trees. Alright. Now, over here we're gonna do some completely different trees. So, another technique is to just go sideways and then go up and make it slightly smaller each time. And also over here, always from the center. And maybe also a bit over here, maybe a little over here, an angle. Right, so let's repeat it for this tree over here. Maybe have some parts that are slightly wider. just go sideways. So the least amount of work you have to do if you want to make it really a 3D painting is just make it like a cross. So you go up over here and you go up over here. And now you will notice that it doesn't matter from which angle I'm looking at it, I will always be able to see some grass or leaves or whatever. So that's why we're doing it like this. Just go sideways. Really rapidly. And then just slowly go up while you're doing that. And we've got some nice little tall trees. If you want, you can also go close to the ground, but right now it's nice that, well, they are somewhat up high. So over here, we can maybe make the same, but then a little bit smaller. Since they're still growing. Or you can just do random things. Try something new if you want. Just gonna quickly do these. This one, final one. There. So, now we've just got these trees left in the back. So what are we gonna do with that? So here we're gonna use a slightly different technique. It's gonna sort of similar to this one, but instead of going side to side, we're just gonna go up. Up like that. And then up over here. And this will create a quite unique look. So I'm just gonna go up. It doesn't have to be pixel perfect. You can always just add more layers to add more volume. Like over here, I can see a sort of a gap, so I can just add a brush, and it's fine. It solves itself. And if you see a bit of trunk, that's also fine, since it adds more character to the tree. And just enjoy yourself while doing this. Just imagine you're creating trees, you're planting your trees right now. But instead of having to wait 20 years, they just arrive in front of you. And every tree worked really, really hard to grow in the way that it wanted to grow. So, yeah, I'm just gonna quickly do this. There is another technique that you could use. Maybe I'm gonna do that. So I've got 2 trees left in the back. So another idea that you can use. So what we did was create some branches, right? Remember? So we just pull it sideways. So we can do that over here as well. Just pull it sideways. Depending on your scale, it might look more like a plant than a tree. But yeah, if you rotate it around like that, just go up and then down. You can also create some palm trees this way if you want, or you can just, oh yeah, go like that. So over here we've got a lot of different trees, And we've only used the same brush, we've only used this brush. We have changed the size, of course, not that much, but it is the same brush. So let's just look at all the trees. We've got the tall trees with the really the ice cone feel to it. I don't know, like a really large trunk and then a ball on top of it. We've got the yeah. Actually, I don't know. It's quite similar to that one, but this one is more firm. No. So, and we've got the mess over here. It's just waggling it around. Quite some nice volume. So here we've got some small brushes. Here we've got the nice sideways waggle, slowly going smaller. We've got some small little trees over here with the sideways waggle. We've got the vertical waggle over here. It really creates a different kind of tree. And oh, look over here, we've got a tree that has a large gap, so let's just paint some more on top of it. That's the beauty of 3D painting. If you see a little mistake, you can just fill it up. And you can view it from lots of angles, and it's just, enhancing it really. And finally, we've got like the palm tree-ish look over here. But then with more depth. So, yeah. Now that we have some trees, well, we still have the little hill that we want to do something with, right? So, I'm still only going to use these 3 brushes. But right now we've played a lot with the leaves. So now we're going to play a lot with the trunk. So instead of creating like a cross like this, which is fine for the smaller trees, but for this one I really want something different. I'm going to make a really, really large tree. So I'm just going to go like this, and then over here, right at the edge, I'm going to try and do the same thing. And over here, I'm going to do the same thing. Try to keep it as close to the other edge as possible. Sometimes it won't really work, and then you'll just need to add some more. That's a bit too much. Maybe cover it up a little. And just rotating it around until we've got some nice volume. It's a really large, gnarly tree. So we've got our base now. Yeah, looks really large. So let's add some branches to it. And again, over here, you can just make the edges slightly touch each other, create some volume, maybe override it some more to add some more details to it to make it less blocky. So yeah, and maybe another one here. You can use this to create a few large branches. Like this. Maybe one over here. And if you're not really happy with how a stroke went, then you can just undo it and then try again. So, right now we have some thick branches coming over here. So let's go a bit thinner and do it the old-fashioned way, like a cross section, or you can just ignore that as well and just draw the normal ones. Maybe even draw a twig coming from over there. Doesn't really matter, it's your tree. You can do whatever you want. You can use any technique that you've learned so far. Maybe even try your own. We're all still experimenting, so you can do whatever you want. So now I've created a bunch of branches on top of a bunch of branches on top of a bunch of branches. Something like that. Right. So, if you're happy with the results so far, then that's good. If you're not, then you can just adding them, or maybe delete some if you don't like them. Say yes to that. So let's say I'm not happy with, I don't know, this one. Or I think this one is too close to its stem, this one as well. And, oh yeah, it's fine really. Maybe I don't like this one. It's fine. You just erase them. So now that we have a really huge big gnarly tree, we can go back to the thick paint or maybe go to the oil paint. So maybe we can create something completely different here. One thing that you can do is create layers. So here you see the thick paint with some gaps in between, but if I add oil paint beneath it, then you will see that, oh yeah, it suddenly looks a lot more solid, but also thick. So let's create like an underlayer of oil over here. Maybe just go like this. Doesn't have to be perfect. You can just create a few strokes in the middle. There. Maybe here. Just look around your tree in 3D and then paint whatever you need. It's okay. Alright, so now that we have the base set up, we can just use the thick paint again. Maybe make it a little really thick and do on top. And if it doesn't look okay, you can just undo it and try something different. Make it a bit smaller. It's fine, really. Adding more volume there. Or maybe just adding stuff over here. That's also fine. You can do whatever you want. It's your big gnarly tree. It stood the test of time. It stood here for a whole 10 minutes. But we can imagine that it's been here for 10,000 years. And it's still going strong. Add some depth to the back. Add some depth over here. There. So, since we've made it really gnarly, may not be able to see all of the branches we've drawn previously, but we did give it a lot of volume, like this. Maybe add some more over here, over here, over here. Just paint on top of the green layer that you've painted before. There. Now we've got a really large tree. It's really large compared to the rest. And it's fine. So, maybe, since it's such a really large tree and our trunk is too small, we can maybe expand it a little. Add some more to the base over here. Just adding another layer of depth. And maybe, just maybe, I decided to grow a little branch over here, but it didn't really work out. That's fine. And over here, another one. That's also fine. Maybe this branch isn't alone and create small twigs over here. There. So now our really large gnarly tree is really rooted in our small little hill. There. Doesn't that look pretty? So, what else can we do? So, we still only have used these 3 brushes. We've only changed the size, but we haven't changed any color. We really only have 2 colors if you think about it. So let's use this brown and create a little pathway, just like this, just going like this towards the tree. Maybe create some gnarly roots that are going that way. That's also fine. Just add some more detail to the painting. And if you don't like it, well, you can just remove it or undo it. But it really shows that this tree has a lot of endurance. So right now, maybe it's not even a path, maybe it's just a root going somewhere else. So if you like it, yeah, that's good. If you don't like it, you can just undo it all. Like this. And then we're back to normal. So I like the idea of the roots, but I just want to make a pathway and then it just gets confusing. So I'm just gonna make it slightly thicker and then go all the way around here. There. And maybe create some more over here. It's fine, really. There. A little pathway. Isn't that nice? So yeah, that's it really. So we've used these 3 brushes to create this painting of a nice little tree. And the good thing is that you can view it from this angle, but you can also view it from this angle. It doesn't really matter. It can be viewed from all angles. And that's the beauty of tilt brush painting. You can really create your own environment and then walk around in it. So, we're gonna use the multiple to take some pictures, some snapshots, like this. Maybe some details over here. Maybe even create a tilting image there. And one thing you can always do is experiment with the settings. So right now we've drawn on future desktop settings, but what would it look like on low performance? It looks quite different. So yeah, if your painting didn't look like mine, yeah, experiment with the settings. So I think for this one, minimum needed is high performance, but yeah, this one looks even better. Future, but yeah, with low performance you can get some different effects. You can still see the details, but they're less visible, and you don't have any shadows. So those are the main features that are missing on performance. And you can also turn mobile, and then it creates a really abstract, well, not abstract, it creates a different kind of painting, really. So yeah, it's a completely different style. If you like that, then keep it like this. If you don't, just go back to whatever you want. So I'm gonna keep it at future desktop for now. And what you can also do is change it to a different environment. Oh, it's a moon. So, but you just the night sky. Then it looks really different. Or maybe it's quite pink. Maybe where you want to put it pedestal. I would say maybe it would be nice in the snow, but there's a snowman in the way. That's unfortunate. So yeah, I'm just going to put it low, or you could also try standard. And white if you like it, or maybe even black if you prefer that. You can choose whatever you want. So, this is our first painting we've created. I hope you've learned a lot from this video. And I hope you try something like this and maybe experiment some more with it. Because there are a lot of things you can do with it. But we'll get to that in later videos. So, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a nice day and have fun tilting.